Hi, I'm Rachael Ryan, NIMSY Insights Interpreting Researcher. Today we're going to be doing an info drop on something that's a little bit different. It is language combinations in the interpreting profession. So there are A, B, and C languages, and to give you an idea, as a former interpreter, my language combination was English A, French and Spanish C. So what do the letters mean? An A and a B language are an interpreter's active language, and a C language is an interpreter's passive language. So what does that mean? A and B languages you can interpret into, and C languages you can only interpret from. So your A language is most often your mother tongue and a language that you've probably grown up speaking and have mastered to the best of your ability. And a B language is very close to that in fluency, but it might be a little bit more taxing for you to search for terminology or wording while interpreting into it, considering interpreters work in quite stressful conditions while they interpret simultaneously, especially. So it's quite taxing on an interpreter's brain. But in both these languages, you should be able to understand accents and different colloquialisms. You should definitely be able to understand puns and humor. And you should have a knowledge of proverbs and sayings, as well as, common advertising or marketing slogans and taglines. And you should know famous quotations in that language, as well as traditional forms of the language, so maybe older forms, as well as newly coined terms in that language. So then a C language is a little bit different because you don't have to interpret into that language. So at no time are you searching for the words or the terminology to actually reproduce it. You're listening to the speaker say it, and then you will say it into your A language. So you could be fluent. Interpreters often are fluent in their C languages, but they mightn't have mastered it to quite the extent of an A or B language. And it means that where they could have a very fluent conversation in the language, they might not be able to reproduce humor in that language, or they mightn't have the quotations down, and it might be a little bit more difficult for them to interpret simultaneously into that language. So in best case scenario, they don't interpret into their C language. I hope you found our info drop helpful today, and if you are hiring an interpreter anytime soon, it might come in handy. Feel free to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and even Instagram. And you can always follow our content on nimsy.com. Thank you.